Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the Hummel, the Tier 6 German SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Ghost Town, and it's under the command of talon1958, and it's his first replay in this week's competition against Angelina75 for the Weekend Lion. Okay, 15cm howitzer. It's the same howitzer as on the Griller. It is short range, well, shortish, but it does have a much faster fire rate, and of course you get more ammunition, and it's much more accurate as well because of course it's got a great trajectory. The shell's going virtually straight up and straight down onto the enemy, which makes it great fun to play because of course you can hit targets which you wouldn't be able to hit if you had the top gun.
Your assistance has been requested.
He's had a request to platoon with someone. And apparently it's the 60 GFT who's actually already platooned with an AMX CLC. So presumably he's just trying to complete some damage mission. Okay, aiming towards that little depression in the ground underneath the buildings. Kind of underground car park, stroke bunker. But he's noticed an enemy target over on the west side of the map, and it's an ELC. Lining it up. Guy won't stay still for long enough. It did look like he'd got the 90mm gun as well, that guy. And, well, we've already lost one of our tanks. 60 GFT got nuked by a KV2. Okay, that AMX ELC, got to try and lay around on him. Oh, well, he fired, but he anticipated the ELC would go further back, but he still got stunned, and that's certainly going to put him off. So it discourages him from going forward. In fact, he started driving back straight away, and he's gone. Okay, we're loaded. Another shell in the breach. Standard reload with this gun is 25.31 seconds. Talon's got it down to 20.51. Now it's difficult getting a shell into that area, but he fires one in, hits the building instead. It's a very narrow gap, you see, to shoot through. It's actually shooting through one of those windows. Not easy to do. Much easier to do if you go further to the east, and that's what he's doing now. Sometimes you, just by changing position and going a little further over, you can actually get a much better result. But Arty players on the whole tend to stay near the back row and very close to the original spawn point. And sometimes it does pay to actually... oh! Well, somebody lost their head there. That was a VK3601H getting... decapitated, and they've also lost their KV1 as well. He just got taken out by our EZ8, and they've lost another one. They've lost their Cavalier now. So the enemy lost 3 tanks in short order. Now Talon's resetting, reorganizing where he's firing. He's going to go for the KV2. That's the guy who took out our 60 GFT. Takes a big hit, 150 hit points, and he takes some stun assists as well. In fact, he got quite a lot of stun assists. Nice accurate shot there. Talon's known for being able to dial in and hold aim on the target and get the shot in. Grabs out. Another direct hit. 113 this time, because he's hitting the frontal armor this time, so it's a little more difficult to actually get damage. And he's gone. The target's gone. Okay, we're trying on the corner there. Difficult to get shots. Okay, I think he's going to move up. I don't think there's any enemy tanks on the east side of the map because our tank destroyer has moved up, so Talon's going to move up as well. And in fact, it's probably a good idea for him to move up because there's an enemy Cromwell nearby. And so we need to move away from the known positions. That Cromwell's just in the middle of town there. He's just around that corner. There he is. Can we get a shot? Yes. Oh, he stopped for a second. That would have been fantastic if we'd hit him. But Talon held his aim and didn't fire. But that enemy is going to come into view momentarily. Oh, no. When he fired, didn't get a hit, but the Cromwell was alerted that he's here. Now, will he get to reload in time? The Cromwell knows he's here. I think he's going to come for him. Here he comes. Oh, shotgun! Lovely shotgun. He came around the corner thinking he'd get an easy kill on an Arty, and it wasn't as easy as he thought because Talon was there ready to nuke him the moment he came round. So, that's his first kill of the game, funnily enough. Now he's getting into nice cover here. He can move up on the enemy. There are an enemy on the west side of the map. It's the Dicamax and the Hummel 3, but the only tanks near their cap area is an M44, and the Basotto is going after him. But Talon is aiming in that direction. He might be able to get a shot on this M44. The M44 is going into the aim to try and get the Basotto, and rounds out. Lands in front of him, splashed him for 134. The M44 now knows he's under attack from, well, three different directions, because we've got a VK3001H up there as well. And the M44 has decided he wants to get out of there as quickly as he can. Probably won't be able to get it far enough away, though. Well, the enemy's got support now, because the Hummel 3's come back. Rounds out. And he's out the game because Talon's just splashed him to death. So he saves the trouble of the Basotto getting the kill. The Basotto's got 2 kills as well. It's a tier 6 game, by the way, with tier 5 tanks in it. There's only 2 left on the enemy team. Their M44 is over in the corner, and he's outside our range at the moment. And the Dicamax, who must be returning to his cap area, because our Basotto, our other Basotto, is actually going up the west side of the map, and we can't find him where he was before. So he must be near that corner. So now's the time to head in quickly towards the cap area to get within range. Is he within range? No, he's still outside range. He needs to get closer still. Yes, he's got a flattened reticule there. There's the Dicamax. Now, can we get a shot on him? I think we probably can. Lines him up, rounds out. Oh, well, he would have got a kill because the Dicamax was moving forward, and before the T-78 fired, the shell would have hit him, and the game is over. Here's the end of battle results for the first game, and it was a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the Hummel. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this one. Well, it only shows 4, but obviously he did get 5, so otherwise you won't get the bruiser. He also got a win 8 of 678, which isn't so great, but he did get 2 kills in the game, of course. One of them being the Hummel 3, the other one being the Cromwell by a shotgun. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That went to the T-78, who got 2,408 hit points of damage and got the high caliber. Of course, he also killed that Dicamax before our shell arrived. Otherwise, Talon would have got another kill. And in second place was the Cromwell B on the enemy team. Yes, the guy that Talon shotgunned was their best player. 1,808 hit points of damage went to him. And in third place was the VK3001H on Talon's team with 1,602. Talon only managed 470 hit points, but he did get 2 kills, and that puts him in joint second place. But Cromwell B managed to get 3 kills, and the Hummel 3 got 3 kills. So he took out both the enemy tanks who actually had the high scores in their game. Yes, so did very well, actually, to help his team get rid of some very difficult opponents. When it came to base XP, though, he's way down the table, I'm afraid, on this one. Top scorer was the Easy 8 with 921, the T-78 883, and the KV-1 got 771. Talon only got 451 out of this game. 10 shots fired, not a huge number, not well below the normal average, which, as I mentioned before in many battles, it's between 12 and 13 shots. That would be a good game. 2 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but 6 splash, damage of 470 hit points, of which 438 were at more than 300 meters. He did get 4 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 154 hit points of stun assist off 4 stuns. He earned a profit on the first game of 66,316 credits because he did get a mission completion and 1,353 XP. So first game out, not enough to beat Angelina. As you know, Angelina has a second-class bruiser and Confederate, so he's got to beat that score. And so far, he's not been able to do it. But he has sent in some more replays, so let's have a look at the second one. In the second replay, Talon's now in the 212A, the Tier 9 Soviet SPG, and he's on Pearl River Encounter. Well, this is a much more difficult game, actually, I always think, the Pearl River Encounter game, because, of course, it's very difficult to land shells into that cap area, because part of the cap is obscured by the overhang. Now he's going up to the back, but he's not going all the way to the back. He's actually going to sit here and I think shoot at some of the enemy tanks that are making their way towards the village. Okay. A couple of enemy tanks managed to make it into the village before our guys could actually spot them. Trying to get a shot on the Barask. Rounds out. Hits the rock face, unfortunately. Now the problem here is that if you do back up too much, that rock face there just in front of you can actually be a bit of a hindrance. Shooting in some directions. It's a 203mm howitzer, the B4 howitzer, mounted on top of a hull that originally came from a KV-220. It's capable of doing 900 alpha and penetrating 52mm of armor. Tries a shot on the Leopard. Did get some stun, but I'm afraid that's all. Now this is where it does become difficult because he's torn between going to the village and trying to hit the tanks in the cap area. It's sometimes easier to wait for the enemy tanks to come around that corner and then to hit them hard. You can see that our guys are also in the village area, but they've taken control of the high village, whereas the enemy's taken control of the low village. And we're going for the Leopard. The guy we missed on the first time, he fires the round in. Not sure if that did any damage, but we can see this T-32 sitting outside at the junction. He's getting hammered from our guys inside the village. And he's gone. Now looking towards the cap area, only one in the cap, and it is an encounter game, so it does take longer to cap out. I think they're going to get 2 in the cap momentarily, and that rock face is going to be a problem then because he won't be able to get the shots in there. So he is changing position. It's a much better firing position here. Of course, you can fire north and also to the east as well. There's nobody coming up east, actually, or nobody defending against the east. There are enemy tanks coming up the east way. A Tortoise and a VK-101 LP, or LP, 01P, rather I should say, the Porsche heavy tank with 100 tons. Now, briefly, we saw an enemy tank. I think it was a Skoda. There it is. And first shot landed next to him for 371 hit points. So he didn't get a reset, obviously, because the guy wasn't in the cap at the time, but it certainly puts a little bit of a crimp on that guy's game because he's suddenly lost a huge amount of hit points. And they've got 2 in the cap now. I think the other one is the not the E75, but an E75. Okay, it's loaded. Now, he can assume that the guy's probably sitting on that corner, and I think that's where he's going to try and put the round in. Rounds out. He did get some capture points reduced, 52 in total. That could add up to a defender if he can get enough resets in there. The T-75 and the T-95, the Doom Turtle, is moving in. He's just spotted the E-75. Okay, so we're marking the ground to let our teammates know that's where we're aiming. Always helpful to your teammates to let them know what you're looking at. I tend to do it rather a lot. He gets another shell into the area, but he doesn't get any defense points off that one. The Skoda, though, has come out of the cap area, and that's the end of his game. Yeah, he made a bit of a mistake there. Got too close to our K91. He's finished him off. Now, it appears that there's no enemy tanks on the east route now because they've stopped appearing from that direction. Maybe they've changed direction. Okay, there's the E-75. He's come out of the cap as well. I'm pretty sure that he's the guy that Talon reset. Lining up a shot. Ready to go. Rounds out. Yes! Right next door to him for 132. The enemy have only got 2 tanks in the cap. The other one is now a Scorpion G. We can't get a shot on him because of the angle. No angle there either. Okay, we can hit this T-32 then. We would be hitting him in the rear as well. Go for the kill shot. Rounds out. Yes, he got him. Splashed him to death, but he got the kill. Still 2 in the cap area. Now he's going to try and lob the shell over the top. He needs to get at least 25. I think it's 25 more cap points if he can get it. And then that might give him a medal. I think it's closer to 27 hit points. Rounds out the Scorpion G. Oh my gum! That's a penetrating shot. It went right through the engine deck of the Scorpion G and he was toast. Excellent shot, that one. That really does help our team. We're 1 up on the enemy now. They've still got 2 in the cap. And whoever gets around into the cap area might be able to get a reset. Well, looks like our Wizzy 120 got the reset, but only on the Scorpion G, and he got wiped out afterwards, and that E-75 is still there. So if Talon can put a round in that will splash him, he might get enough to get a defender. He suddenly spotted that Leopard. Can't get a shot on him from here. Leopard's on very low hit points. He's gone. That means there's only 3 enemies left. One of those is in the cap. E-75, he's loaded. He's ready to go. Launches the round in. It hits the rock face. Oh no! That's so disappointing because if that one had actually, and they've stopped the count. The E-75 has been wiped out by the AE Phase 1, and with that, I'm afraid chances of Talon getting a Defender medal have gone, because the only 2 remaining enemy are the SU-130PM. He just got wiped out, and it was the AE Phase 1 yet again, and the last one is the M53, M55, the enemy Arty, and we've got 2 members of our team heading in that direction very quickly, the Hori 2 and the Leopard 1. Well, Talon can only use his W key now to get to the enemy cap area. He can, of course, take a shot at the enemy M53, M55 when he's spotted. I think he's a little too close to this building, though. Well, he's not close enough to actually do any have an obstruction, but he's aiming for the back of the map. There's the M53. Can we get a shot? Rounds out. Oh, that's a kill. takes out his opposite number, and the game is over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the 212A. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 7 in this one, and his win rate was 1,436, which was better than the last game, but unfortunately it's still not enough to beat Angelina. She's still in the lead, and this game took place only a short while after the last replay. Yes, the last replay was 2016. Add on the number of minutes it took for that game to play out, which was, 7? So 2016 plus 7 minutes, and this one was 2034. So maybe there was another game in between. We don't know, but certainly they were one after the other in sequence. And 3 kills in this game. Very, very good indeed. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage yet again. That goes to the BZ-176, who got 4,030 hit points. Second highest damage to the A Phase 1, who got a Defender and 3,466. I think Talon would have liked that Defender. And when it came to third place, that was the Leopard 1 on the enemy team, 3,356 hit points of damage. Did he get a damage on that Leopard? Well, he stunned him, but he didn't actually get any damage. No, so that shot he fired in, the blind shot at the Leopard 1, I think he just got far enough away to actually avoid getting any damage during that moment. So 1,377 hit points of damage went to Talon. When it came to kills, though, he's actually in joint second place because the BZ-176 got 5 kills, the Leopard 1 got 3, so did Talon, and 2 kills went to the A Phase 1, the Skoda T50, and the E75 on the enemy team. When it came to base XP, he's much further down the table, I'm afraid. The top scorer was the BZ-176 with 1,420. A Phase 1 got 1,066, and they were the only 2 players to get over 1,000, with Talon getting 646 out of this one. Fired 12 rounds, so he had a nice number of rounds fired. 2 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots. Of course, one of those penetrating shots was definitely the Scorpion G. Yep, 749 hit points. The shell went right into his engine deck, which is basically a very, very good weak spot. Either that or you want to just aim for the open cockpit area, which obviously will just nuke the thing in one round. I've done that once myself. When it was on the move, actually, it was quite funny. And of course, the other one he managed to penetrate was the M53, M55 right at the end of the game. He also got 7 splashes, damage of 1,377, damage 5, kill 3, and he did get 53 defense points in the game, but sadly didn't get enough to get that Defender medal. Now, he earned a small loss on this game because of the resupply of ammunition. It was only 363 credits that he lost, but it just goes to show if you don't get enough shells out or enough damage done, then it can actually be cost ineffective to actually play the games at tier 9s and tier 10s. He also got a profit on XP, 1,938 on this one. So this is the end result of his second game. Let's have a look at the third game he sent in. In the third replay, Talon's gone to the SU-8 and he's on the west spawn of Airfield. That's the tier 6 Soviet SPG, 152mm howitzer, capable of 550 alpha, penetrating 38mm of armor, and with a rather fast reload. 19.65 is by the book, but Talon's got it down to 15.46, which makes this Arty the new M44 in terms of firepower and hitting rate. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the M44's arc of fire, and it doesn't have the M44's ammunition load. Only 26 rounds to play with, which isn't a lot, but it does have the rate of fire to actually make a difference. That was the main thing that gave the M44 its chops, you could say. The ability to put a huge amount of fire out on the enemy on a regular basis. He's dialing in on the VK3002M. Rounds out. Well, it didn't get past the rock, but it certainly does warn that VK that you're in the line of fire. He's almost ready to go again. This time he's going for the T-3485M. Loses sight of him temporarily. Pulls back just to be able to get a better picture. And there's a T-3485. Not the M version. Not the premium. Okay, rounds out. Looks good. Lands right next door to him for 66 hit points, but he has to change position because otherwise he could be on the receiving end. There's two Artys on the enemy team, an M44 and an FP304. Well, the 304 will be a lot closer to the tanks up north, but the T-3485's gone. Unfortunately, that slope is really difficult from this position. And the trajectory of the SU-8 is not helping. It's like working against us, actually. Going for the T-30... it was a KV-1S, sorry. Managed to track him, or at least somebody tracked him. Very narrow arc there. Rounds out. Yes, he does get a critical hit on that one as well. You know, the KV-1S was a replacement for the KV-1, which was, well, not so much of a replacement. It was a heavy tank that was brought in with less armor, so it would go quicker. Actually forms the basis of the hull for the S-51. Okay, going for the Cromwell. Him up, rounds out, looks good. Direct hit. Oh! Well, it says here that he didn't hit him. He actually landed it right next door to him for 124. And the enemy is counter-batterying. That must be the M44 who's doing it, because we just saw the shell land at the spot where Talon was before. It's the Cromwell. Well, he's now up against somebody who's serious opposition. That's a Panzer Schmaltern. Better fire rate, it's a premium. Rounds out. Unfortunately, that shell doesn't land close enough. You can see the M44 on the enemy team is trying to counter battery Talon, but he's firing in the wrong direction. He's actually firing at the bushes now. He thinks that Talon's gone into the bushes. Well, we can see a P-43 Biz. Unfortunately, the enemy Giro just killed our Panzer Schmaltern, so he's out the game. And yeah, the enemy Arty is definitely trying to hit those bushes, so we're not going to persuade him not to. We'll just keep firing, change our position. Doesn't want to knock anything down just in case the enemy sees it. The new configuration of the rocks on the north side of Airfield is actually making it much more difficult for us to hit enemy tanks in the north. He fires at the spot where the tracer came from. And immediately changes position. Yes, if you want to get shots on the enemy tanks over in the north now, you need to line yourself up with the north on somewhere on the D or E row. One of the reasons why Talon's actually moving further north is there's a P-43 Biz who's got rather close. And that T-3485, the one he was firing at before, is also very close. He's going to try and land a shell behind him. Rounds out. Unfortunately, no, didn't get that. Yet again, changing position. Might not be a good idea to sit in any bushes whilst that guy keeps firing at bushes. You can hide behind them though, just as long as you're not in them. It looks like the enemy M44 is now firing at our T-3485. Can't see those guys to the south. Aha, there's the P-43. No shot. Needs to get further north. I'd even go so far as to say if he was to go up as high as the box tank, he might be able to get shots on those guys. But, oh, that was a swift move by the T-3485M, but didn't work for him because he got hit. And we got some damage as well. 376 for track damage. He's now one shot as well, so if Talon can get another round into him, he's toast. Rounds out. He is. Kill. So that's Talon's first kill of the game. Already up to 447 hit points of damage. Got some assist. Now there's a VK3002M somewhere on the airfield itself. Out in the open it looks like. And he is moving further north to get closer to the box tank. This might provide better angles on the enemy. You might also be able to hit that P-43 Biz. There's the VK. Well, if you can land a shell next to that VK, that's the same one he's fired at before. But look at that Jackson sitting up there. Thinks he's so regal. Not anymore. That's a direct hit. He felt that one. And now he has got the angle to hit the P-43 Biz. In fact, our Rudy's gone in. We get a shot in there to slow this guy down. Rounds out. Looks good. Yes, it slowed him down, stopped him, tracked him, and will we get the kill shot from the Rudy? Yes! Unfortunately, we didn't get the damage assistance off that one, but the Rudy got the kill. Now, where was that Jackson? Somewhere up here. I think he was behind that bush. But he's changed. Oh, he is behind that bush. There he is, hiding behind the rock. Can we get a shot? Still dialing in. Let it settle. Good. Rounds out. That bound to have stunned him at least to maybe some splash. And they've just lost their heavy tank number 6. With 3 up on the enemy now. The Jackson just got wiped out. Taken out by our FV304, which means now the enemy has only got that, another Jackson, and their FV304 and M44. Talon's gone to the counter battery to try and locate where the enemy Arty are. There's the M44 on the move. He's lined up. This could be good. Rounds out. Yes. Oh, right behind him for 117. The Jackson's been spotted. I think the other Arty is in. Yeah, there's the M44. We can take him out now. Dialing in. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh! Well, yes, he would have killed him. That shell did land right next door to where the M44 was located. And despite the fact that the enemy Jackson just killed our T-3485M, I don't think he's going to last very long. Talon's lined up on him. Okay, can give it a go from here. Oh, he's hiding behind the rock, but he's gone. And that means it's all over. Here's the end of battle results, and that was a third-class tanker for talon1958 in the SU-8. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11 in that one. And he also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. And he got a win rate of 1,447, which is good. But sadly, unfortunately, that does not beat Angelina. Angelina's top score was a second-class bruiser and a Confederate and a win rate of 2,701, which means that Angelina is still in the lead to win the weekend lie-in. So, let's have a look at the end of battle results and team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in this one. That went to the enemy heavy tank number 6, who managed 2,482 hit points. He picked up a high caliber for that. Second highest damage went to the Rudy on our team with 1,533. And the third highest damage went to the VK3001P, 1,509. The OI managed to get a steel wall, and of course Talon got the Confederate, and the MT-25 also managed a Spartan, even despite the fact that he didn't get any damage or any kills in the game. So he must have been spotting, but yes, he earned a Spartan medal somehow by blocking a shot when he had less than 10% of his hit points left. When it came to kills, it was the Rudy who did the best. The Polish Rudy managed 4 kills. 3 kills went to the heavy tank number 6, and 2 kills went to the OI, the Panzerwehr Schmoltern, the box tank, and the Hellcat on our team, and only 1 tank on the enemy team there. Jackson managed to get 2 kills. Talon only got the 1 kill, but that of course helped him to get the Confederate. And when it came to base XP, he's a little higher up the table. Top scorer was the Rudy, second was T-3485M, third was the OI, and in fact actually it's not the OI because it's the heavy tank number 6 on the enemy team who actually came third on XP. Yes, he got 745. Talon got 605. He managed to fire 17 rounds. You see that fire rate really does help pump out enough shells to actually do huge amounts of damage on the enemy. 3 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but he did get 11 splash. Damage of 965 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 80 the enemy, killed 1, so there's the Confederate. 376 hit points of damage assistance and 190 of stun assist off 10 stuns. Now he did earn a profit from this game, 68,467 credits, again another mission completion, and he also got 3,631 experience points as well as another mission completion in there as well. So he was doing extremely well, and he said, what is it the other team's Arty is shooting at? Well, yes, because he did see that enemy M44 kept firing at the bushes. It wasn't firing at him, but it seemed that he thought that Talon was in the bushes, and well, he only ended up with 266 hit points of damage at the end of the game. I think you need to follow the tracer to find out where the enemy is, but of course, if you know that the enemy player happens to be moving around rather a lot and tracers come from a different spot every time, there's no point in aiming counter battery, because you'll never work out where he is, and you might as well just try and hit the enemy tanks rather than going counter battery at all. In fact, a lot of players refrain from doing counter battery until the end of the game to give the enemy RT a chance to get some hit points. Not that they want them to get hit points, but they just don't feel that it's difficult enough playing the game as it is anyway. Let alone having the enemy team counter batterying you during a game. But of course, if you're an aware Arty player, you will keep changing position, and then it's just pointless trying to counter battery somebody who keeps moving all the time, because you're never going to get them. You'll never work out where they are unless you're very, very lucky or somebody on your team spots them for you. So sadly, that means that I'm afraid Talon hasn't been able to beat Angelina this contest so far. He's still got a day and a bit to try. In fact, actually, he's got half of today and, of course, all of tomorrow. If he doesn't get it done, then Angelina's going to win this week's Lion. After all, Talon did get last week's Lion. So, yes, it'd be nice for Angelina to win this one. But we'll find out probably sometime on Saturday when Talon sends in his latest batch of results. If you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.